Hello, it's good to see you. Today we are going to be making a wreath, and we're going to use some ribbon that I found in this big bag of ribbon that I got at Goodwill yesterday. There was this red and white ribbon in there. There were several rolls of it, different types, and I decided to keep them and make a wreath out of it because I already had some red mesh and some white mesh, and I thought it would be really cool to look through my other stuff and see what else I had that I could use in a wreath that was just red and white. It kind of makes me think of Minnie Mouse for some reason. I think it's the patterns and stuff in the ribbon, but it makes me think of Minnie Mouse. While I was at Goodwill today, I want to show you what I found. I had to go to Goodwill earlier to drop off some stuff. I had some more stuff to drop off. Look at this pretty scarf that I found at Goodwill. It's beautiful. It looks like, it reminds me of the ocean or something. You have all these pretty colors in it. It's like a watercolor or something. It's just beautiful blues. Look at that. I thought it was really cool. And I also found, now this is not for this wreath, but look at this pretty ribbon that I found. This is perfect for Thanksgiving or fall. It has a little checkered pattern and it has orange glitter all over it. This was only $1. It looks like it was from Dollar General originally. Well, that looks like one of their price tags, so I'm assuming it's from, it is. It says Dolgen Corp LLC, so yeah. It was originally only $2. It's really pretty though. I like the brown and the green in there. I thought that was really pretty. So I keep totes up in my attic that I keep all my wreath making stuff in. So this will go in the attic in my totes for that. But right now I wanted to show you the stuff that we're going to use for this wreath. I went through my totes yesterday and I pulled out everything that I thought might work. Now we don't have to use all of it, but I thought let me go ahead and get it all out, and that way I'll have it if I want to use it. So first thing I found was a pack of these just plain white chenille stems. They're just like, they're pipe cleaners basically, but if you're looking for them in the store they call them chenille stems. And I found a bunch of just plain white ones, so that will work. I didn't see any red ones, so I just thought, well, I'll just take this and we'll just use these. Now we're going to be attaching those to a 14-inch wreath frame. I get these at Dollar Tree. You can get all different types of wreath frames at fabric and craft stores like Michael's. You can get all different sizes, but I think this one is a really good value. Now when we get done with the wreath, it's going to be way bigger than just this right here. It's going to come out to like here, all the way around. It's going to be about 20 inches across. Well, no, probably more than that, but it's going to be big. Anyway, so we're going to be using this wreath form, the wreath frame for it. Now I want to show you the ribbon that we found in the bag yesterday, in case you didn't see the video I made last night where I showed you the red ribbon. Here's one that I found. Now a lot of people said, why don't you just save this stuff and make a Valentine's Day wreath? I could, but honestly, especially Dollar Tree, they come out with so much adorable Valentine's Day ribbon and mesh around right after Christmas. They start putting out, literally on like December 26th, they start putting out all the Valentine's Day stuff, and I always find so much cute stuff that I would rather wait. And any wreaths that I make for Valentine's Day, I would rather wait and see what they put out. But this one actually came from Dollar Tree, but it was in the bag of ribbon. And yeah, this is one of the Dollar Tree wreaths, but it's red and white, so we're going to see about including that. We also found this little skinny ribbon. This looks like it was a clearance item from Walmart. This is a little thin ribbon. It's only 3/8 of an inch, and it's red with a little white stitch running down the middle. It says there are 12 feet in here. I don't know if it's all here or not, but I thought that would look really cute in there. Oh, this one's really nice. Look at this one. Little red polka dots on this one. Now that's from Offray, and you can find their ribbon at Walmart also. Yeah, a really cute one there. I thought it would be really cool to include a bunch of different, like red and white patterned ribbons in this. And then we have this one. This is another one from the bag. Several people suggested doing a wreath that has like a picnic theme. It's a really cute idea. I thought about that, and you know, there's a lot on here. I think I could be wrong. I think there's actually a lot of ribbon on here. You know, maybe that's something I can do later if I have any left over. But here's the cool thing. When I was looking through my tote of stuff, look what I found. This is another Valentine's Day ribbon, but it's another red and white check. It's just thinner. So I had this in my tote up there. So that was another one that came from Valentine's Day. You can see it has little hearts on it. So we can use that with the wider ribbon here. And the other ribbon I found in the box, there was just a little remaindered piece of this white ribbon here. So I'm going to try to salvage that and see if we can use the rest of that up. Just cut this end off here. And everything I cut into 9-inch sections. I think we could get a few out of there. So we'll use that up. Now I went to Michael's earlier and I found a few more things. When I went through everything in the attic, I realized I didn't have any plain white ribbon. So I wanted to pick up some. So I got this one here. Now this is 7/8 inch white ribbon, 7 yards. I won't use all this, but I'll save it. I mean, I can always use it in something else. If nothing else, I'm planning on doing, I thought about doing a blue wreath for Christmas, like blue and silver and white with snowflakes and stuff. I could use this in that wreath if nothing else. So whatever I don't use out of here, I can use for that. So I got that at Michael's. I think it was $5 for the 7 yards of this satin ribbon. It's really good ribbon. I've used it before. And then I also got the same thing in 1.5 inch width. That is only 4 yards. This was also $4.99, just to put some white ribbon in there. And I also found this striped ribbon here, red and white striped. This also came from Michael's, and it is only 4 yards as well. I think all these were $4.99 a piece. So that, and then I thought it would be kind of cool to put just, because this wreath keeps making me think of Minnie Mouse for some reason. I thought I would put in just a little bit of black ribbon in there. I don't know why, just a little bit, not a bunch, just put a little bit here and there for a little added variety in there. So I got, this is 5/8 inch black satin ribbon. Now this is 10 yards. And this, of course, I can use in a bunch of different things as well. If nothing else, I'm thinking about doing a Halloween wreath, of course. I'll do at least one of those. I may do more than one. And I thought about trying to figure out a way to do a Beetlejuice wreath based on one of the rolls of ribbon I found in the bag yesterday. It was this chevron stripe. It was like a black and white chevron stripe ribbon. And I guess it made me think of Beetlejuice's pants or something. Didn't he have on like striped pants? I don't know. It made me think of, it wasn't a chevron stripe, but it made me think of that. So I can always use this. Now 10 yards is a lot. So that would do probably 3. I could split that up among 3 different wreaths probably. It was only $4.99. So I'm just going to put a little bit in there, just here and there. I think that's going to look really nice. Now I want to show you what I found in the attic, other than just the checked one. This one here has a little bit of sparkle to it. It's a red 5/8 inch ribbon. This is another one from Dollar Tree. And it has little red and white hearts on it. The red hearts have glitter. Now that is probably, 9 feet. So it's not a lot, but it was only $1. There's going to be so much ribbon in this wreath. And then I found this one. This was another Valentine's Day Dollar General ribbon, 9 feet. This is 2.5 inch ribbon, red with white hearts. Now this is a wired ribbon, which with this wreath, it doesn't really matter. But if you're using ribbon to make bows, the wired ribbon is a lot easier to work with because you can bend it and form it the way you want it to look. It's really great. So this was one I never even opened. So we can incorporate some of that. And then I found this one that looks like I opened it but didn't use any for some reason. I opened it, but it hasn't been cut. So I found this white ribbon with red and white hearts. So yeah, I had a bunch of stuff left over. I bought way too much stuff for Valentine's Day last year, or it seems like a year ago we had Valentine's Day. But yeah, I bought a ton of stuff and I didn't end up using all of it. But we could put some of this in there. I really like this. It has so much red and white in it. And it has a cool pattern too. Oh, I'm not done. I found more. Look at this. This is a massive roll. Now this came from Walmart. And I got this on clearance. I found this when they had all their Christmas stuff marked down to 90% off. It was $7.99, so I basically got it for like practically free. What is that, 79 cents? It's 90 feet of red velvet ribbon. It's beautiful. Look at that. It's like 1.5 inch ribbon. Oh, there's no way I would use it all, but you know, this would be great to make Christmas wreaths with. And I could, you know, I'll probably have some left over and we could use it next year for Valentine's Day. I will definitely get my 79 cents worth out of this. That's awesome. That was a really good deal. And I had some of this left over. I also got this. Did I get this? I don't remember if I got this on clearance or not. But this also came from Walmart. It's a red sequin sparkly ribbon. This was only 75 feet, but I think that came from Walmart. I'm pretty sure it came from Walmart. All of a sudden, I can't remember, but I think it did. I remember I paid less than $1 for it. This did come from Walmart, but this is really pretty. We could work in some red sparkly ribbon in there. And I found some 5/8 inch sheer ribbon. Now this is 18 feet. This also came from Dollar Tree. I've noticed lately they don't have a lot of stuff like this anymore. They used to always have tons of stuff like this, ribbon of all different colors, but the ones around here don't really seem to do that anymore. Maybe it doesn't sell well. I don't know, but this was just some of their general stock. This wasn't part of a special holiday or whatever. And you can tell because it says floral garden and it doesn't have any particular theme or holiday on it. This was just part of their regular crafts, arts and crafts stock. And then I found this. This was part of the Dollar Tree Christmas stuff because it says Christmas house on it. It is a red velvet wired ribbon, 9 feet, 2.5 inches wide. I haven't used it yet. So we have so much ribbon to pick from for this wreath. Now for the mesh, it's going to be very simple. It's going to be very straightforward. I have this red decorative mesh from Dollar Tree. This is part of the regular stock because again it has the green and white floral garden name on it. Now this one has a metallic thread running through it that's also red. And I also found some of this. Now this is from their Valentine's Day stuff. It's red, but it has a gold thread running through it. I found 2 of these and 2 of these. So I have 4 rolls of red mesh in total. And I also found this. This is from Easter. I'm just using up everything, which is good. I'm glad to be using it up. This is just plain white mesh. And it has this really pretty iridescent thread that runs through it. I have 3 of these, and then I have one that has a silver thread running through it. which I also bought at, no, the one with the silver thread in it, I found at Goodwill, and I have no idea where it came from originally, but I bought it at Goodwill. So we have just plain old red and plain old white for the mesh. I'm not using any other colors of mesh in there. And I found some glitter tulle. This also came from Dollar Tree. And it looks like there's a lot left on here. I'm not a really big fan of this stuff. I've used it in wreaths before. The only problem is when you unroll it, the glitter goes everywhere, and I'm cleaning up glitter for 2 weeks after I make a wreath because it just keeps showing up. It's like you can't ever vacuum it all up. It just keeps showing up. But I'm going to go ahead and just kill off this roll of glitter tulle for this wreath. I'm going to go ahead and use it. It's kind of a whitish, silverish color. The glitter is silver. We're going to work this in there and use that up. And then in the bag of ribbon, I found this red raffia. I think what I'm going to do with this is I will just take little bunches of it and work it into the bundles with the mesh and the ribbon. Or I could just leave the ribbon out and do some bundles with mesh and this raffia stuff. We'll see if we can use this up. I've never put raffia in a wreath before, so this should be interesting. We'll see how it turns out. And then for the flowers, I have Charity's wedding bouquet that she had in her video the other day. There are some red and white flowers in here. So what I can do is, like, okay, sometimes I'll leave the leaves in, sometimes I don't. For this one, I probably won't. So I take my little wire cutters and I just pick out the flowers I want to use. Like, here's some white ones here. I might use the daisies. They have yellow in them. I don't know. I might use them anyway. And we have a bunch of roses. I love these lilies, but they're blue, so we can't use those. Aren't they pretty, though? We can use them in something else. I don't know if I'd want to use them in that Christmas wreath. Probably not, because the Christmas wreath is going to be a lighter blue. That might be a bit much. This would work in the Christmas wreath, whatever this stuff is. I don't know. But, okay, like say I want to use this flower in the wreath. You can move these leaves out of the way. I just slide them down. Now, if I'm going to incorporate the leaves in the wreath, I push them all the way up to right under the flower. And then I'm going to cut with my wire cutters about right there. I want to give myself about 1.5 inches to 2 inches of stem to work with. In this case, I don't think I'm going to put the leaves in there, so well, now they don't want to go down. There we go. Alright, so yeah, I would cut it about right there. And then I use a hot glue gun and I just put some hot glue on that bit of stem. Figure out where you want it and just stick it down in there in the bundles, and it stays. You just want to give it time to set. Don't mess with it too much. But yeah, I'd cut them about right there. So that's going to give us plenty of red and white flowers for our wreath, for decorations. And then what I'll do with the rest of these, I just stick them back in the tote upstairs. And then when I need flowers for another wreath, I can, if these would work, I have them ready to use. So I think that's everything. And then I wanted to show you my scissors. I love these are Fiskars spring-loaded scissors, and they have a little safety lock on them. You push it together, push it up. These work great for dovetailing your ribbon because it's just a lot easier. Just do like that. But you have to be careful though, because the end is extremely sharp. It's very pointy. So you want to make sure you put this where you're not going to sit on it or grab it or whatever. You want to be very careful with that end because it's very sharp. But they make dovetailing ribbon much, much easier. And I will show you how to do that. And then I always have just a plain pair of scissors. Plain scissors work better for the wider bits of ribbon. These really work well on the skinnier pieces of ribbon. So for the wider ribbon, I just use a regular pair of scissors. And then of course you have the wire cutters for cutting the flowers. And that's all I use. Well, no, I use these for cutting the chenille stems as well. Because for each bundle, you're going to use 1/2 of one of the chenille stems. So now that we have everything gathered up, let's go ahead and get everything laid out, and I will show you how to make bundles and attach them to the wreath. Okay, we have all of the little pieces of ribbon cut. I tried to cut them all roughly 9 inches long. It doesn't have to be exact. It really doesn't matter. But for this size wreath frame, I try to do about 9-inch sections. And I have a whole bunch of different types and sizes. Like we have this 5/8" ribbon. Here's some of the sheer ribbon. 1.5", 2.5. Now, if you'll notice, you see how the edges, the ends look like this? It's kind of like a little bookmark, and it just has that nice finish. I will show you how to do that. And I do that with all of them, even the little ones. It just makes it look a little extra nice. So, alright. For the skinny ribbon, I use these little snips right here. So what you do, you take the end and you fold it lengthwise. You just fold it over like that. And you take your scissors and you're just going to cut at an angle down this way. You're just going to cut that corner. And this is the side it's folded on. Just cut it like that. Open it back up. And there it is. I'll show you again. Fold it lengthwise. Take your scissors and you're just going to cut off that corner. You're just cutting it at an angle. And there, look at that. And you end up with all these little pieces everywhere. I find it's useful to just keep a little trash can nearby because you're going to have a lot of these around. I just cut them right over the little trash can, and most of them go in there. Some of them fly out. Okay. This is pretty. This is some of the 1.5" ribbon I bought today. You do it the same way. You just fold it in half lengthwise like this. Take your scissors. So here's the fold, the little crease, and you're just going to cut that corner off. There it is. Very easy. There's going to be a lot of ribbon in this wreath. Probably more than I've ever had in any wreath I've ever made. Lots and lots of ribbon. I've been cutting ribbon for a while. But yeah, it just makes it look a little extra nice. Same with this kind. Now this ribbon has a wire in it, and when you take it off the roll, it's going to be kind of curled up. You can just take it and kind of do like this. And it helps kind of flatten it out. I'm just kind of gently pressing it back between my thumb and my fingers along that wire on both sides. Okay, same thing. Fold it lengthwise. And you're just going to cut that corner off. And you can cut right through that wire. It's not hard. It's not thick. Same thing with the other side. And there you go. Okay, let me get rid of all these little pieces here. Alright. So we have lots of ribbon. I took the chenille, some of the chenille stems, cut them in half. So I have 6 pieces here. It was originally 3 pieces. And I've cut up my mesh. Here's a piece of mesh right here. Now I cut these in approximately 9-inch lengths. But it's not exact. I'm not really worried about it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start making bundles. And the bundles are what we're going to attach to the wreath frame. So I start out with a piece of mesh. you grab opposing corners and you just pull it a little bit. You don't want to handle it roughly. Pull it a little bit, hold it down, roll it together in the middle, kind of pinch it so it's like a little bow tie. See, like this. And then I'm going to hold this piece between my fingers and grab another piece of mesh. So here's one of the white pieces. Now, since we only have 2 colors of mesh, probably what I'll do is I want an equal amount of red and white in this wreath for the mesh. I'll do one bundle with 2 pieces of red and 1 piece of white, and the next one I'll do 2 pieces of white and 1 piece of red. So you're just you're using the same amount. You're just alternating, every other bundle you do it a certain way. So for this one we'll do 2 pieces of red and 1 piece of white. So again, you grab opposing corners, pull it apart, fold it in the middle, make your little bow tie. Now set it on top of this one, but don't let it go, because if you let go it's gonna come apart. Now if you don't want to hold it between your fingers, you could use a clothespin or a chip clip, or whatever you want to use, just as long as you have something that holds them together. I just do it like this. After you do it a little bit, you kind of get used to it. So here's another red piece. You're going to grab opposing corners, pull it. You're just pulling it apart a little bit, folding it together in the middle, pinch it, set it on top. Okay. Now, we're still holding it all together. Then we're going to take some ribbon. We'll take a wide piece, put it on top, still holding it all together. Another piece on top of that, and a little skinny piece on top. Now, this is going to be one bundle. And for a 14-inch wreath frame, I find that you're going to need about 50 bundles this size. 50. It takes about, start to finish, it takes about 3 to 4 hours to make one of these wreaths. A lot of it is just the preparation. Okay, now we're going to make the bundle with the pipe cleaner. You lay it across the top like this. We're still holding it all together. It's all held together. Now, this is where you have to be careful. You're going to bend it down like this, fold it under, fold everything in half like this, and then you're going to take these 2 ends on the underside of this bundle and twist them together. I do at least 3 twists, and then you can let it go. Now that is one bundle, and again, for a 14-inch wreath frame, you're going to need about, I would say, at least 50 of these. Sometimes you need more. It just depends on how many pieces of mesh you have in there. Some mesh is thicker than this mesh. If you're using, now this is Dollar Tree mesh, so it's not as thick. If you use mesh from a fabric and craft store, it's probably going to be better quality, honestly, and it's probably going to be a little bit thicker. So you probably wouldn't need as many bundles if you're using that thicker, better quality mesh. You just kind of have to play with it and see how full you want your wreath to be, how much stuff you want in it. All right, there's one bundle. Let's make another one. Okay, now in the last one we did red, white, red, and this one we'll do white, red, white. Okay, so you start with your piece of mesh. You grab the opposing corners, pull it a little bit. You don't want to handle it a lot because the mesh will fray, and we don't want that. Roll it together in the middle, pinch it between your fingers. Take a red piece of mesh, open it up. See, it kind of curls up on itself, especially the pieces that come from the inner part of the roll. They do this right here, but just unroll it, grab the corners, pull it, pinch it together in the middle like a little bow tie. We're going to hold it all together between our fingers. Another white piece, and you have to unroll it. It does roll up on itself. Grab the opposing corners, pull, kind of roll it together in the middle, put it on top. Okay. I usually, when I'm putting the ribbon on it, I start with the widest piece. I put that on the bottom. You don't have to. That's just the way I do it. Let's use a piece of this. There's that. And then I have just a plain white ribbon. We'll put that on top. You can mix and match your ribbon any way you want to. And then I'll put the skinny piece on top of that. Grab your pipe cleaner, lay it across the top, still holding it all together. Make sure you don't let go. I'm going to bring this down, fold everything up in half. Oops. And then twist it together on the underside at least 3 times. Then you can let it go. And you can kind of fluff this out before you put it on the wreath, or a lot of times I just leave it all wadded up and I attach it to the wreath frame, and then when everything is attached I go back and just kind of fluff all the mesh and the ribbon out. Just kind of open it up like that. It doesn't matter, you can do it either way. That's a pretty combination. I like that velvet, that dark red velvet. That's pretty. So that's our second bundle. Let's do one more, and then I'll show you how to attach them to the wreath frame. And you end up with little bits everywhere. That's just part of it. Okay, now for this one we're going to do red, white, red. Take a red piece. This is some of the red mesh with the gold in it. Grab opposing corners, pull it, fold it together like that, hold it, and I can tell you the more of these you make, the faster you get. I could probably do this in my sleep by now. Opposing corners, pull, fold it, pinch, put it on top, still holding it all together between the fingers. Another red piece, grab the opposing corners, pull, fold it together, pinch it, put it on top. Here's a pretty piece. Look at this ribbon. We'll put that on top. And I'll grab a piece of this right here. This ribbon is kind of papery, but that's okay. I like the way it looks. I'm looking for some skinny ribbon. Here, let's use this one. Put the skinny ribbon on top. Okay. Still holding it together, we take our pipe cleaner, lay it across the top, fold it under, fold the whole thing in half, and then we're going to twist it together at least 3 times on the underside. Okay. Now I'm going to show you how we attach these to the wreath frame. Here's your wreath frame, and I know it's really hard to see. It's dark, but now you'll notice with these frames there are 4 wires in here, and you have these pieces that hold everything together. Now for these wreaths we're only going to be working with the 2 inner wires. We're not going to do anything with these outer ones here. We're just going to be attaching everything to these 2. Now I'm going to turn the wreath frame upside down so I can show you what I'm doing. Now, here's a bundle right here. Now you will notice, I want to show you this, there are sections. Like here's this section, 2, 3. Each one of these wreath frames has 6 sections. And I find that you're going to need 8 or 9 bundles per section if you make them like the ones that I have made here. 6 or 7 bundles per section. Alright, so this is the underside that we're looking at right here. So you take your bundle, and you notice we have the 2 ends of the pipe cleaners. That's what you're going to attach to these 2 inner pieces. You thread them up through the bottom, through down here. So this is the front. Obviously, this is going to be the front of the wreath, so we're looking at the back side of it right now. These pipe cleaners aren't going to show when it's over, when it's ready, when it's all done, unless you look at the back. Now you take your pipe cleaners, you bring them together, and you can twist them together, and it's just kind of hugging onto those two wires right there. Now when you first start putting these on here, they're not going to look like much. They're going to flop around and look kind of ridiculous, but don't worry, because the more bundles you add, the fuller it's going to look, and it's going to look really good. So don't pay any attention to how awkward it looks right now. Here's another one, and we can just add it right here. Stick it up under here. We have our two ends of the pipe cleaner. Alright, we have to make sure that it's kind of hugging the two inner wires, and then you just twist them together. And after I twist them together a few times, I take those ends and I just kind of tuck them under so they're not sticking out. It just makes it look a little bit neater and cleaner to do that. And you can slide them around on here any way you want to. Let's do the third one. Okay, see, normally when I'm making these wreaths, I will do a whole bunch of bundles, and then I will grab the wreath frame, the form, and attach them. I don't, make a bundle and attach it, make a bundle and attach it. I'll make a whole bunch and then attach them. It seems to be a little bit more efficient. Okay, we'll thread that third one up through there. Twist them together on those two wires. Tuck the ends under. Push it over. Alright, there we go. That's going to be really something when we get all done. So, yeah, I know right now it doesn't look like much right now, but it's going to look better when we get done. So I'm going to keep working on making bundles and attaching it to the wreath. We're not ready to decorate. We won't be ready to decorate until all of the bundles have been prepared and added to the form. So I'm going to go ahead and keep working on that, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like with all of the bundles added to the form. Well, I got all of the bundles put together, and I put them all on the wreath, and it turned out really cool. Look at that. Now you notice I did put a little bit of black ribbon here and there all around it, and I also added the raffia. All I did was I just cut the raffia into 9-inch pieces, and because of the way it was folded, it worked out perfectly, because folded in half, it was like a 9-inch piece, and it had that little fold in the middle, so it was very easy to add to the bundles. I didn't add it to every bundle, I just put some of it here and there. So yeah, now we have to add flowers to it to decorate it. I haven't done that yet, but here it is. I think it turned out really nice. I'm pretty happy with it. I think it looks good. The raffia is a nice touch. I had never used that in a wreath before. I kind of like it. I may do that again with at least one of the Christmas wreaths. And we did have some purple raffia from that container that had all the ribbon in it, so we could possibly do it with a Halloween wreath too, but it's a nice touch. It's really different. So now I'm going to take some of these red and white flowers out of here, out of these two bouquets, and then I'm going to hot glue them into the wreath, and then we'll come back and look at it one more time. Well, I've added all the flowers to the wreath, and it turned out really pretty. I'm really happy with it. Look! Now, I know it looks like Valentine's Day. I thought about that as I was adding the bundles to it, but it turned out really cool. I'm kind of glad that I added the little bit of black in here. I kind of like that. It adds just a little bit of depth and interest to it instead of just being all red and white. I think it turned out really cool. I put some little daisies in here, lots of big red roses, and these flowers here. Oh, I love these giant red roses. They're so pretty. And then you have the raffia in here too. There's that little skinny ribbon that we found in the bag. There wasn't a lot of that, but I worked all of that in here. And there it is. It turned out really nice. I'm almost tempted to keep it and just hang on to it until Valentine's Day to put it out. I don't know, I may do that. I don't have a Valentine's Day wreath, I don't think. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. But anyway, here it is. And it looks really cool. And a lot of it is stuff that I already had. And some of it is stuff that came from the big bag of ribbon that I got at Goodwill yesterday. So there it is. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed seeing this wreath come into being, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I will see you again soon.